Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Wednesday, January 4th, 2017. This morning, the big news has been the repeal of Obamacare. The Republican Party has come out this morning and said that the first thing that will happen when Donald Trump takes office January 20th is they will repeal Obamacare. They will get rid of Obama's legacy bill. And after the Republicans had the floor, had the mainstream media camera lens, after that, the attention turned to the sitting president, Barack Obama, who came out and criticized the Republicans and said, once they repeal this bill and leave you with nothing, call it Trumpcare. And you'll see just how empty Trumpcare is. So, before we get to the battle between these two sociopaths, Donald Trump and Barack Obama, if you're not aware, the only qualification to be the president of the United States is to be a sociopath. Those are the only type of people that we get as president. People who are liars, egomaniacs, deceivers, the worst among us. Barack Obama, a horrible human being. Donald Trump, even more disgusting. Before we get to the battle between these two sociopaths and why the word Trumpcare is emphasized, as you see, let's just talk about human health and what's going on in this nation. Human health is a relatively simple subject. The phrase, you are what you eat, is what you need to know. You are what you eat. And in America, we have all been purposefully addicted to foods that are toxic to us from a young age. Turn on any child's television programming, and what is it? Commercials of advertisements for toys and junk food. Sugar-loaded cereal, sugar bars. Sugar is a real drug. That's something a lot of people don't get in this nation. Sugar is a real drug. It is a real addiction. It influences behavior. Have you ever seen children, after they get hopped up on sugar, all sorts of behavioral problems come out? We don't treat sugar as a drug. We talk about it as a food additive, as a normal thing. What a lot of people don't understand about the U.S. government is for our agricultural policy, the majority of our tax dollars go to two foods, and neither of them are good for us. One is sugar, the other is corn, and the human body doesn't digest corn very well. You can turn corn into all sorts of things, from potato chips, or not potato chips, but, tortilla chips, fried chips, Cheetos, to even things such as ethanol, which fuel our cars. But anyway, what we have in the United States of America as a real healthcare system, as the whole totality of the system, we have a purposeful system that addicts us to toxins that purposefully decrease our quality of life, make us more susceptible to illness, and this is all by design. When we are ill, what do we have to do? We have to go out to the doctor, we have to go to the pharmacy and buy these pills, these syrups, these serums. It's all part of this world we live in. We live in a world of profit over people. Instead of doing things sensibly, efficiently, to improve quality of life, to improve health, we do all of these things that manipulate us and turn us into financial instruments that are continually generating wealth for the people at the top. They want us sick. They want us addicted to junk food because they make money off that. This whole Obamacare and health insurance, it's all a racket. And repealing it's all a racket. Do you remember what they did when Obamacare launched? Do you remember how the news headlines were that we spent all this taxpayer dollars on building a website for people to sign up and it didn't even work? I mean, imagine that, truth seeker. Do you really think your government is this incompetent at this day and age? That they don't even know how to build a website where people can sign up for healthcare? This entire thing is all by design. It's all a mocking of us. It's all part of a sick show. When Obama first became president, what I was saying to people, because remember he was running on the whole Obamacare thing back then, what I was saying to people is there's already a proven healthcare system in this world that works the best for the people of this world who live under that system. And it's called a single payer system. what the single payer system does is it essentially eliminates the profit potential from, making money off of people's health. What the single payer system does is it creates as efficient of a system as possible to keep costs down for everyone. And there's all sorts of nations in this world that have a single payer system that eliminates the whole profit motive, that drives down healthcare costs and makes treatment affordable for all. And there's no reason that the United States of America could not take on that system, just as other large European nations have. The U.S. could totally do the same thing if it wanted to. The reason they don't is because this nation is all about profit over people. And, this morning the Republicans are on the TV saying we're going to go back to what we had before. What did we have before? Insurance companies profiteering off people's health, making people pay all this money and then not wanting to pay out when people actually need help. It's just sick. And for anyone to think that the Republicans are the good guys for repealing Obamacare, they're not at all. It's just all part of the back and forth that we go through with each passing election cycle. Does anyone realize that we don't make any progress as a people? The only things that are progressing in this world are technology. The computers are getting better, the TVs are getting fancier, but our day-to-day lives, we're plagued with the same problems, it's the same illnesses. In fact, illness is rising. There's more and more problems in children, and medical science, which is getting all this money from charity and everything else, that they're just shrugging their shoulders at what's going on. Well, we don't know what causes that. And then they'll put out propaganda like, well, it's not the food. It's not the food that's causing it. No, it's not the vaccines. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Meanwhile, your government's making laws so that you cannot even see what's in your food. And at the same time, they're telling you that it's not food that's responsible for the rise in illness and disease in children and everyone else. They just always keep people distracted and fighting over nonsense. Obamacare was a horrible bill that just created more money for the insurance companies, done intentionally, presented to us in the fashion it was from the website that, couldn't even load, nobody could sign up for months. And then, just each year costs have gone up more and more. Now people get fined on their taxes if they don't participate. That was the final straw for me. That's why I stopped paying my taxes. I just said enough's enough. I live in this criminal warmonger empire of a nation. I'm not giving these people another dollar. I'm not paying another tax on tax day. F these people. Want to fine me because I don't want to sign up for their fraudulent insurance scam. But if any of you today are feeling like, hooray, this is a victory that we're repealing Obamacare, no, this is just another mocking of you. This is just a way for you to look and see how more of your tax dollars were wasted on this program, the website, just all of it. What we need in this nation is truth and common sense and, real education about nutrition. Our government has known since World War II, and probably earlier, but they've known definitively since World War II that the way to create the healthiest people is to give them a diet that is plant-based. Green, organic vegetables, fruits and vegetables. Our government has tons of research since World War II that says the greatest causes of cancer in this world are dairy and processed food consumption. Meat consumption in many people with certain blood types also increases the chance of cancer. Our diet, it depends on what kind of blood we have flowing through our veins. And when you start to think about it, those types of things make a lot of sense, but you're never taught about those things in mainstream education. People pay all this money to go to college and get nutrition, and they're not even taught anything. They're taught the food pyramid, and the food pyramid is made by who? Corporate agricultural companies. Not doctors, not scientists, well, doctors and scientists that work for the industry, but not people who actually care about human health. So anyway, if you want to protect yourself, if you want to be healthy, if you want to not have to worry about massive bills for future operations, the time is now to overcome your food addictions and start eating a plant-based diet. You know, you're looking at someone who's eaten a plant-based diet since they were 18 years old. That there was a stint in my life where I went back to eating meat. But you know what? I mean, I've always still eaten a lot of fruits and vegetables even when I was eating meat. And you know what? I haven't been to the doctor. The last time I've been to the doctor one time since I was 18 years old, I went there when I was 22 because my ear began ringing and it's never stopped. So my ear's been ringing forever. The doctor wasn't able to help me out. I got a ton of bills, ton of tests. They did a ton of blood work. They gave me some experimental drug. None of it helped. You know, I might as well have never even gone. The doctors all shrugged their shoulders and said, "We don't know what's wrong with you. We can't help you." After they took a bunch of money and took a bunch of blood. And then scared me with a bunch of other things. They told me I might have Alzheimer's and all these other things at the time. Or not Alzheimer's, what's it called? Lou Gehrig's. At the time they said, oh, people with the ringing in the air, they also have Lou Gehrig's. We're worried you might have that. Anyway, truth seeker, you want to be healthy, eat right, exercise, maintain a happy social life. You know, happiness is important. I know being awake in this world, it makes it harder to be happy sometimes. And if I die at an early age, no doubt it'll be from the stress of fighting back to all the tyranny in this world. But the point is, I've been a very healthy person, minus my ear starting to ring, and I don't know why that happened. I haven't had to go to the doctor. I haven't had to pay any money for medicine or bills, aside from that one time when I was 22. And the same could be true for all of you. All of you who get sick and you're always in the doctor and you're having all these health problems, it's because you're not eating right. And when you go to the doctor, they're not going to tell you anything about food or nutrition. They're going to tell you to take this pill, take this medicine. Western medicine is bunk. It is all part of a corrupt system. So all that aside, now let's get into the coded propaganda. Obama called it Trumpcare. We're going to talk about why it's called Obamacare and why it's called Trumpcare. Or why Obama coined it Trumpcare this morning. Has everything to do with Donald Trump coming in with the 115th Congress. One of the people who's kept me sane in this world, and I was very sad when he passed away, Kurt Vonnegut, the author. This is one of my personal heroes. I've always loved Kurt Vonnegut. If you never read Kurt Vonnegut books, he writes fiction. He's dubbed as science fiction, but really the way I interpret his work is he writes truthful fiction, humorous fiction about the world we live in. This guy was way ahead of his time, Kurt Vonnegut. You know, some very funny books. He has a book about how one day one corporation will rule the world and everything in it. This guy has so many genius books, Kurt Vonnegut. In about 2005, he released a book called A Man Without a Country, and I was really identifying with that title at the time. In that book, I remember this. Only nutcases want to be president. This was true even in high school. Only clearly disturbed people ran for class president. And, you know, when I was in high school, who became the president of the United States was George W. Bush, someone that was truly mad. And now it's even worse, you know. Obama, someone that deceived everyone in 2008. And, well, he didn't deceive everyone. He didn't deceive me, but he deceived almost everyone. I was living up in Seattle, and everyone was going cuckoo crazy for Obama. And I was telling everyone in 2008, this guy stands for nothing. This guy will do nothing to make this world better. Look at his voting record as a senator. It's atrocious. He stands for war, big banks, big industry. He stands for the spy state, the police state. This guy is horrible. We might as well just have more terms of George W. Bush. And really, that is what goes on in this nation. Each president just represents the same agenda. They come in with a different face, a different party, a different way of speaking. You know, dupe people in different ways, but then they come along and carry out the same agenda. And Donald Trump will carry on the same agenda as Obama. You know, even if he repeals Obamacare, who cares? It's still going to be all about insurance and insurance profiteering off people's health. You know, Obama didn't change anything with his Obamacare bill. He just made more money for the insurance companies. So anyhow, why did they emphasize Trumpcare? Trumpcare sums to 115, and Donald Trump is taking office with the 115th Congress, which is repealing Obamacare. The 115th Congress is creating what Obama calls Trumpcare, so why not emphasize it with the 115? 115 is also the number of the Freemasons. This is a nation established by Freemasons. This is a world run by Freemasons, from banking to everything, media, health. Look at who's built all the hospitals in this nation. You look at the history of hospitals and Western medicine, it's all Freemasonry. When you write out 58, it also sums to 115. When you write out 148, it sums to 115. Donald Trump, the winner of the 58th presidential election, inauguration day is January 20th, 2017, a date with 58 numerology. The name Donald J. Trump equals 148. The Art of the Deal equals 148. His first published book, when you write out 148, it sums to 115. His name's Donald J. Trump on the cover of that book. I've done videos in the past showing more and more 148 coding with regards to Donald Trump. Those are just two of many examples. So notice here, when you click on, this was the front page of CNN. Obama, call it Trumpcare. When you click on the article, what it takes you, or when you click on the front page, it takes you to this article. Top of the headline is, Obama tells Democrats, don't rescue Republicans on Trumpcare. And just think about that. Obama's making it all about him. It's all about him and his ego. The reality is, if you're a president, if you're a leader, you're not worried about your own ego and what people think about you. A lot of you hate me, but I'll tell you what, I'm a real leader. I don't worry about what other people think about me. I speak truth. I do it for all the people, even the people who hate me. A lot of people hate the truth. I speak the truth. People don't want to hear the truth. A real leader doesn't worry about what their critics are going to say or what other people think about them. A leader does what's right. And if Obama was really about what's right, he wouldn't be saying, oh, don't just let them all fumble and fall apart. I mean, he wouldn't be saying that because his words are saying, F the American people. You're just going to see that what I did for you was better, and what these Republicans are about to do, it's going to make it worse. It's going to crumble. You'll see. That's what he's saying. Is that what he should want? To see it crumble and things get worse for other people? I mean, if he wants to give a real speech, he should be up there today saying what they really need to do to make things better. Instead, he's making it all about him and, let the dominoes fall over them, you'll see. That's not the message. So notice, don't rescue and Trumpcare also both sum to 43. Obama's the 44th president, but he's only the 43rd man to be president. So 43. Obama, the 43rd person to be president. Trump's the 45th president, but only the 44th man to be. Remember, the word birther equals 44. At the beginning of the Obama administration, it was Obama and Trump with the birther argument. Now it's Trump replacing Obama. All of this is foretold. It's all a planned narrative. When Obama became president, it was planned for Trump to be the next president. It's very clear now. We got decades and decades of Donald Trump predictive programming for president. Video I put out right after he was elected. I showed all the years of sitcoms, commercials, and more that foreshadowed Donald Trump as the president. And specifically the winner of the 58th presidential election. The day Obama was elected, November 4th, 2008, date with 43 numerology. November 4th is a fitting day for a presidential election. President of the United States equals 114. Obama gave his acceptance speech in Grant Park. 43rd man to be president, Grant Park 43, date with 43 numerology. Remember, he's from the land of Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was born on the 43rd day of the year. He oversaw the Civil War. The Civil War began in Charleston. We live in a nation where all of its history has been made by the numbers, and history has repeated itself again and again by the numbers. We've seen a lot of headlines lately emphasizing Civil War, World War. It's all about divide and conquer. That's why we're getting Trump right now. In 2008, people thought we were making progress. The first black man as a president. Finally, somebody other than a white man. Now what do we get? We get this racist, bigoted psychopath, Donald Trump, to come in after Obama. In 2008, people consented to doing things based on race. Almost everyone who voted for Obama, they were caught up in the fact that he was black. I was telling everyone in 2008, if you want to vote based on race, vote for Cynthia McKinney, the black woman who was kicked out of Congress because she punched out a security guard. That was a real fighter. That was a real leader. You know, you could have had your first black person and your first woman in 2008 had you all voted for Cynthia McKinney. And I bet you she would have actually done something. Not that they would have ever let her in. I mean, the presidency's all scripted. But if you wanted to cast your vote for a real fighter, you had your chance. Look up the story of Cynthia McKinney and how she punched out the security guard at Congress because he wouldn't let her in the building because she didn't have her, supposedly one of her IDs. She'd been a sitting congresswoman for all these years and they wouldn't let her in for a vote. If I was her, I would have done the same thing. I would have punched out that security guard too. Get out of my way. So anyway, here's the article if you want to read it. Call it Trumpcare. This morning, before that was the front page, this was the front page. GOP's Obamacare jitters. Republicans worry about repealing it with no replacement. And then Mike Pence and Paul Ryan went before the media and said how, even though they don't have the plan, they're still going to repeal it first thing. And then they said in the months and weeks after that, they'll figure out the solution. Isn't that great? Isn't it just pathetic how I cannot stand our elected officials? I mean, what are they doing all this time? They should have a plan ready to go on day one. If you're going to repeal it, have your plan in place. Don't come out and say you're going to repeal it, and then in the months and weeks ahead, you'll figure it out. That's garbage. That is garbage. The Republican Party is garbage. It always has been. I don't know how anybody votes for this party. I don't know how anybody votes for either of the parties, but I especially don't know how anyone votes for Republicans. All they stand for is war, rich industrialists, fear-mongering. What do the Democrats stand for, though? They're like a bunch of cowards that say the opposite of the Republicans and then govern the same way. Everyone just needs to stop voting. The system is bankrupt. There's nothing here. It's a big scam. None of these people should get paid a dime. No one in Congress should be paid one penny. All they're ever doing is on vacation, doing nothing for the people. We all pay their salaries. We need to disband this federal government. You know what? Down in the campaign, I haven't posted for a while, I'm going to put the All for Truth fundraiser campaign to try to raise some more money. If we can get some money, I am going to go to Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day, and I'm going to stay there for at least a week. I'll do whatever I need to do to stay up all week with a megaphone, trying to get as much of a crowd there to put an end to this federal government. The time is now to end this charade. All these people do is terrorize us, scare us, steal our money, treat us like we're idiots. Let us not even know what's in our food, purposefully trying to poison us. What are we doing, people? Everyone thinks in America all they're supposed to do is grind, go to school, study all this bullshit that doesn't matter, get a piece of paper that doesn't even reflect with their life or what they're going to do. Then they go get a job because they have the piece of paper. Then they just grind, pay all these taxes to the banker tyrants, to the... Come on, America. You guys need to get on the same page I'm on. It's time to shut it down. It's time to change the world once and for all. So anyway, this headline up here, it summed to 82, just like the name Barack Hussein Obama. GOP's Obamacare jitters. There's a sick joke in the name Obamacare, too. Obamacare equals 59, like Negro, like slave, like blues. He's the first black president. The two numbers stamped on black men throughout history are 59 and 42. When you write out 5, it sums to 42. When you write out 9, it sums to 42, the numbers that make up 59. No other numbers sum to 42 in the single digits, just 5 and 9. Today's date, the date of this news with the Obamacare, is a date with 42 numerology. 42 stamped all over black men. When you write out 42 as a word, it sums to 142. When you write out President Obama, it sums to 142. And of course, Barack Hussein Obama is not his real name. It's his actor agent name. Actors in the presidency, they go hand in hand. We've had multiple actor presidents. Donald Trump's the latest. Donald Trump's been in TV shows, the WWE, commercials. Now he gets to act in the White House. And let's not forget, government equals 52, White House equals 52. Donald Trump began his Jesuit training 52 years ago in 1964. Well, I guess here we are in 2017, so we're going on 53 years, but he was elected as president, destined for the White House 52 years since 64. This whole 115 thing, though. I mean, did you see how Donald Trump was on a thank you tour? Have you ever heard of this before? A thank you tour for electing him? Thank you equals 115. Donald Trump, taking office with the 115th Congress. And again, here's the gematria birther, 44. Obama number 44, but the 43rd man. Trump number 45, but the 44th person. Donald Trump, he began his presidential campaign June 16th, 16/6. The White House equals 166. From the day he began to election day, 511 days, the reflection of 115. Remember on November 5th, there was the assassination scare in Reno, Nevada. If you take the off of White House, using the alphabetic order, White House equals 133, like government. Donald Trump, when he had his first debate with the entire Republican field back when there was 20 of them. Remember when they were having 2 Republican debates because there were so many contestants? They kept putting on the screen that he was the 133rd richest man in the nation. I was saying back then, I hope to God this doesn't mean Donald Trump will be the next president. They put it all in front of our eyes that Donald Trump would be the next president so many times in so many ways. And I showed that it was very possible he could be the president. I just couldn't believe it myself. I could not believe that they would put this orange Oompa Loompa, this fucking moron, in the White House. Especially with the whole pussy grabber thing and everything. Him talking about how he wants to fuck his daughter. I mean, it's just unreal that this guy's the president of the United States. It is unreal. Unreal. This guy has fought in WrestleMania. Oh, God. Give me the Governator. Give me Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just in case you haven't seen me show you this before, this commercial's from 2010. Let's watch this. This was some major predictive programming for Donald Trump's presidency. Check this out. 2010 Serta mattresses.
So what do you think of my Trump Home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to room 9.
Looking good, number 9. Looking good.
Where's your dignity?
Let me go back a second. Do you see what 2 numbers are in this hallway? 11 and 9. 11 and 9. What day was announced Donald Trump? Or what day was it that Donald Trump was announced as the 45th president? November 9th, 11-9. The name Donald in Jewish gematria equals 119. So does All-Seeing Eye. So does Star of David. So does Master Plan. They're calling Donald Trump the first Jewish president because all of his children are married into Jewish families. Remember, the United States of America is a Zionist Jewish nation. It was founded by Zionist Jews, banker tyrants, always been run by them. Every president serves the Zionist Jews and no one else. That's the entire point of this nation. It's a nation that is a military weapon. The people of this nation are used to generate revenue to fund this massive military war empire that it is. And the people are continuously distracted with entertainment, trinkets, lies, deception, false fear. Donald Trump in this commercial is wearing the exact same suit and tie he wore on election night. And it was November 9th where he accepted the nomination. Donald equals 119. This hotel where this ad begins, Trump International Hotel and Tower, that in gematria sums to 148. 148. If you missed my video about May 18th, 2017, you might want to check that out. Might be the end of Donald Trump's presidency. He very well could be used for the next false flag. Think about false flags in 11-9. Hello, 11/9, the 11th day of the 9th month, September 11th. Something you might not know about the Jewish people. They have a holiday called the 9th of Av. That's the 9th day of the 11th month. It's also known as Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av equals 911. And that's the day where they remember the destruction of the 2 temples. The destruction of the 2 temples. 9/11. How about the two towers on September 11th that have us off fighting wars that are all part of the Zionist agenda? And Charles Manson's hospitalized. Charles Manson, another media fiction character to deceive the masses. I'll be doing some work on Charles Manson. That's about all for today, Truth Seeker. Until next time.